Hello everyone, this is Meenu Thakur, faculty at Delhi University. So in this session we will cover the leadership topic which is the topic of management subject, and this topic definitely will come in your examinations like SEBI and RBI grade 2020. So let's start with the leadership theory. So first of all we need to know what is leadership. Basically this is a quality, or we can say this is an ability which must be carried by the manager or employer to motivate employees towards the achieving the goal of the organization. So this is all about the leadership quality, right? So if we look at the introduction part, here I mentioned clearly it is ability to develop a vision that motivates others to move with a passion towards a common goal. Right. See, before this session, I have uploaded the motivation videos where we have learned the certain motivation theories and why it is required in the organization. Now it is a further step which we need to learn about the leadership qualities, because this is the person leader, that is a person who has the biggest role in the organization in the context of motivates. With the using of motivation theories or models, the employer, or we can say the leader, can develop a model, can develop the morale among the employees towards the achieving a goal, and that goal definitely must be linked with the organization goal. So it is kind of, we can say it is not a different, or we can say it is not a separate thing which is found in other things or others in the organization. Basically this is a quality which found among the employers. So these are the definitions which I have explained here. Like, leadership is the process of social influence in which one person can enlist the aid and support of others in the accomplishment of a common task. See, it happens every time. It happens if we talk about in general life, like these days you guys are preparing for your examinations, but after a certain period of time you would get demoralized. Then again you need a person who directly or indirectly influence you or motivate you which link with the achievement of your goal, that definitely crack your exam, right? So that is the quality which required by organization every time to boost the morale, to encourage the morale of employees or workers to achieve, or to input more efforts towards the achieving the task. So these are some factors which must be found in the leadership quality. See, there are two things. First is leaders, and second is leadership. Leadership is the quality which carries by leaders. So leaders are not separate thing. Leaders are not the different people who must be recruited in the organization, but even it is the manager or it is the employer which carries the leadership quality along with their position. So if we talk about factors which must be there in the playing role of leaders in the organization, like first is leader. Definitely the person, or we can say the employer, must have the leadership qualities, leadership style. Like, the person must be honest, understanding of who you are and what you know and what you can do. So the person who plays a role as a leader in the organization, that person must be honest, that person must be clear about their task or about their role, about his or her role in the organization. To be successful, the leader must have the capability of convincing the followers or employees towards the achieving task. Second thing must be in the process of leadership, that is follower. So definitely if employers are there as leaders, then definitely there must be follower, there must be employees who are the responsibility to follow the path of leaders. So this is all about followers. Next, the most important factor in the leadership process, that is communication. See, if there is employer who plays role at the same time as a leader, and the another side there is employee, the correct communication must be held. There are two ways of communication. One is verbal and second is non-verbal. So both type of communication must be held by the employer or leader. Both are same. For example, when you set example that communicates to your people that you would not ask them to perform anything that you would not be willing to do. So this capability, this communication must be indulged in the style of leader. Whatever he wants to perform the task, the employees or the followers must be follow the same path via communication. Next situation, definitely if we talk about the factors of leadership, the situation must be the correct situation must be held between the playing the role of these leaders with the followers. Next we have heading, that is styles of leadership. So definitely it is very important which kind of style carrying by leader at a workplace. So basically there are so many styles of leadership, but majorly there are three types. First is authoritarian, which is also known as autocratic. Second is participative, or we can say democratic. Third we have delegative or free rein. So let's start one by one. If we talk about autocratic, we generally find in the organization where employer or manager playing a role as a leader, but in his style, his or style, it seems to be autocratic. When leader makes decision alone, where somewhere leader shows the dominating nature in the organization while giving the order to the follower. So we can say the power is centralized. Only power is in the hand of employer. Whatever employer says to employees, that is correct. So that is a kind of autocratic style of leadership which is carried by employer. So we can say this is a kind of bossing people around. So somewhere it also this particular style of leadership has merits and some demerits, but as compared to merits, demerits are more, because in this kind of environment where employees are not supposed to take decision or are not supposed to take part in the decision making process, then definitely their motivation will get down. So this is somewhere not acceptable to the on the larger scale. Next we have democratic. This is a wonderful style of leadership in professional life. Like these are those leaders who are democratic. See, these people are ready to accept the advice or the working style of employees. So these people invite the employees to take participation or to give the suggestions in the decision making process. So here communication is very flow freely from the top to bottom, bottom to top. So these kind of things found in the democratic style, where power is not centralized, but which is we can also say it is decentralized. So suggestions are made in both directions. As I explained you, the participation encourages member commitment to the final decision. So this is a style which definitely increase the motivation among the employees to commit to to give the commitment, final commitment to the final goal of the organization. So this is one of the wonderful style of leadership. Next we have laissez-faire, which is also known as delegation or free rein. So these are the styles of leaders or managers who believes subordinates can take their own decisions. So in this kind of style, people are working with the free full of mind, where they can take their own decisions in regard of their task. So this is a kind of which is responsible for the decisions that are made by the employees. So this is used when employees are able to analyze the situation. See, in this kind of style of leaderships, where I can say where merits are not more but demerits are more. In what context? See, employees, when you are giving the full authority to employees to take decision by their own, then definitely these employees must be capable to analyze the situation so that they can take the right decision. If they are unable to do, then definitely the whole organization will face the worst situation. So among these three type of style, according to me, democratic is one of the best style of leadership. So next, there are certain theories of leadership which is mentioned in your syllabus. So there are certain theories of leadership which have produced by different psychologists and thinkers across the world, because there was a time, and still there is a time, when employers really need to adopt some professional theories with which they can improve their leadership style, so that employees can get huge motivation from the employer side, and the productivity will enhance in the organization. So we have to understand certain very important theories as per your examination demand, like trait theory, behavioral theory, contingency theory, and situational theory. So let's start one by one. First, we have trait theory. Traits, as we know, the trait means certain qualities. So this theory particular talk about the qualities which must be carried by leader at a workplace. So this theory arose from the great man theory as a way of identifying the key characteristics, as I told you, certain features or certain qualities of successful leaders. See, in the whole chapter of leadership, we need to understand the person, the ability of person or a leader who can influence the desirable behavior of employees in the organization to achieve the goal. So that is the whole theme of this chapter. So this trait theory believed that through this theory, critical leaders' traits could be isolated, and then people with such traits could then be recruited, selected, and installed into leadership positions. See, what happens in the organization when organization needs a certain kind of leaderships in the particular position of manager, then definitely according to these traits, people would recruited and selected, and giving them a particular task to achieve the task in the workplace. So this theory is very much helpful in that point of view. So there are certain criteria to select the candidates for this leadership position. So we need to just take a glance, like ambition and energy. So leaders must be having these traits like ambition and energy, desire to lead, self-confidence must be there, job relevant knowledge must be there. He must be having honesty and integrity. Integrity means the quality of group making, the coordination among the various group of people. He or she must be intelligent towards the task. So these are the traits which must be there in the leaders. So next we have another theory, that is behavioral theory. So these theories of leadership are based upon the belief that great leaders are made, not born. So basically the logic behind of this theory, leaders are not born with the leadership qualities, So these great leaders must be learned. Their behavior must be go in the direction of desirable behavior of a leader so that the person can play a best or successful leader at the workplace. So it is also rooted in the behavioralism. This leadership theory focuses on the actions of leaders, not on mental qualities. See, basically it talks about the behavior aspect of leader, which are not born but which are created, which are made. So these behavior can be judged not on the mental qualities but on the action which must be played by leader. So according to this theory, people can learn how to become leaders through teaching and observation, and this approach says that anyone can be leader, or anyone can adopt the appropriate behavior which can be a good leader. Next we have contingency theory. So in this theory of leadership, the successful leader, the leader must be successful when he is having or she is having the qualities to match with this situation. So whenever the moment situation would change, the leader must also change as per the requirement of situation. So the leader is a function of variable contingencies in the form of subordinate, task or group variables. So these leaders who are very effective at one place and time, so then they become successful when they would be having the capability to act like a situation. If situation change, their way of work style must be changed. So this is all about contingency theory. This theory helps to explain how some leaders who seems for a while to have the Midas touch suddenly appear to go off the boil and make the very unsuccessful decision. See, suppose the older style of leadership is carrying by a leader, but something change in the external environment of business, but they still working on the older style of leadership, then definitely they would become unsuccessful, and unsuccessful decisions would come into picture. So we need to understand this contingency theory. So on the basis of this contingency theory, different style, different again theories have developed with certain names like Fielder's contingency model, Harsey contingency theory, Blake and Moulton theory, path goal theory, Vroom contingency model. So let's start one by one. Fielder contingency model. So this Fielder's model assumes that group performance depend upon certain leadership style, which can be described in terms of task motivation and relationship motivation. See what happens in the mind of leaders at the workplace. One important function of leader must be linked with the task. So he or she would always motivate the employees according to the requirement of task or work, right? But a part of this task motivation, they would also focus on the relationship motivation, so that employees or followers listen carefully or ideally the path of the leaders. So this situation favorableness determined by three factors. If this theory has to act at workplace in that direction, then three things must be placed in the workplace, that are: first is leader members relations. See, as we know, this theory focus on the task motivation, and second, relationship motivation. So these three things must be there. First is degree to which a leader is accepted and supported by the group members. See, we are saying the leader leader gives the task to employees, but when this can be happen only when employees or followers follow the order of leader. For that, they must believe on their manager, they must be accepted their manager as leader and supported, so that the mutual coordination would take place in the organization. Next we have task structure. So this is the extent to which the task is structured and defined with clear goals and procedures. See, if leaders unable to clear the task structure and the way to perform the task or action of a particular job with the employees, then definitely picture will not be clear in the mind of employees and everything will be vanished. Next we have position power. So this, if we talk about this position power, it must be played by leader very smartly, so that subordinate would not take it as autocratic style of leader but democratic style of leader, so that the coordinating efforts would come out in the organization. Next theory we have Blanchard situational theory, which is also known as Hersey Blanchard. See, these two people, there were two people who combinedly put their efforts and produced a theory which is known as Hersey Blanchard situational leadership theory. It was created by Dr. Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard. This theory states that instead of using just one style, successful leaders should change their leadership style based on the maturity of the people. So this again theory talk about this situation, and certain styles of successful leader must be matched with the situation. So it talk about the details, and using these theories leaders should be able to place more or less emphasis on the task. So sometimes it happens when leaders must be focus more on tasks rather than relationship with the employees. But certain situation would come in the organization when initial stage leaders must be focused more on relationship with the followers than on task. So let's understand with the figure. But before this figure, we have to understand four kind of leadership style, like telling. S1, which is also known as S1. Here leaders tell their people exactly what to do and how to do it. So this is the aspect of telling. Next is selling. Here leaders still provide information and direction, but there's more communication with followers. So this is all about selling. Next, participating. Here leaders are started to focus more on the relationship and less on direction, so that leader would be successful by making team among the employees. So the share decision making responsibilities would come into picture. Next, delegation. Here leaders pass most of the responsibilities onto the followers or group, so that followers can take their decision on their own ability, not on the basis of the ability of leaders. So again next we have the theory path goal theory. So this is a theory which talks about the path that leads to achievement of goal. So here the leader's responsibility is to increase the subordinates' motivation to attain personal and organizational goal. So what happens in the mind of employees when they are working in the organization? They get confused between their own personal goal with the organizational goal. So a person may do this by adoption of certain leadership style, like directive leadership. So under this direction leadership quality, leader always tells subordinates exactly what they are supposed to do, and which includes planning, making schedules, setting performance goals and behavior standards. So this is all about the directions related to the behavior, required behavior, or we can say the task, so that they can make a plan accordingly to achieve the goal of the organization. Next is supportive leadership. So the whole agenda of path goal theory is to achieve the goal of the organization by the employees, and with this concept there must be provided some path like direction, supportive, coordination. So these all are the path which is supposed to provided by the leaders to their subordinates. Next, we have like participative leadership, achievement oriented leadership. Under this achievement oriented leadership, challenging goals are set and high performance is encouraged while showing confidence in the group's ability. So this is a very crucial point which comes in the mind of leaders when they think to enhance the morale of employees, to show the vision of the top level of the goal. Next we have, which is very important for MCQs, that is your managerial grade. See, it describes the relationship between the leaders and subordinates as per the requirement of task and concern for people. So these two things always runs in the mind of leader when he the moment he needs to focus more on task, and sometimes he has to show more concern for people at the same time or in the next stanza of work style. So this grid or this graph particular given by two people, Blake and Morton, that we need to understand. So this grid is based on two behavioral dimensions. First is concern for people, and this is the degree to which leaders considers the need of the team members, their interest and area of personal development, then deciding how best to accomplish a task. See, leader always know this thing. The only behavior could be take place to accomplish a task when employees see or able to see their personal growth while working in the organization. So this is all about concern for people which needs to be maintained by leaders. Next, concern for production. So this is the degree to which a leader emphasizes more on objectives, more on organizational efficiency, high productivity, and so on. So this diagram we can easily understand with this graph. Here I have clearly mentioned, like if we look at the graph, this graph, Blake and Morton graph, these two peoples were there who have produced this graph. So in the at the bottom line I have mentioned clearly concern for production. So this is a concern for production, and here in vertical I have mentioned concern for people. So what exactly and I have also divided into 1 and 9 ratio. Like here I have given numerical value, not I have given this, these two persons have given these numerical values here. अगर हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं, suppose leader choose a choose a point where he is focusing more on, not more, one he is focusing very less on the production or very less on the people. So this leadership style of leader, which shows very lazy person, lazy leader, who less concerned about the production, who less concerned about the people. So they denoted the values are 1 and 1. So this box is known as improvised style of leaders. So here leaders are not proved, they are working like a child where he has not concern for the production and for the people. Next stanza, next box we can say, see this diagram divided into two parts. Like middle, if we this whole diagram अगर हम इसको ऐसा क्रॉस करते हैं तो यहाँ पे आपके देखेंगे चार जो बॉक्सेस है, 4 boxes have developed like improvised, produce or perish, team leader, country club. So on in between the middle of the road. So as per these boxes they have denoted the particular style of leader, and two things they have taken up like concern for production and concern for people. यहाँ पे low है, here it is low, here it is high, again here it is low, here it is high. If leader concern very less towards production or towards people, then the numerical value would come 1 and 1. So this style will be known as improvised, right, which is not acceptable in the workplace. Next diagram, if here values are 9 is 9 and 1. If leaders more focus towards the production, less for the people, then value would be 9 and 1, which is product. Like here people leaders are more focusing on the production, so these kind of also style not acceptable, because employees are not machine, they are human beings, which are also need the personal relationship between them and leaders. Next box we have 9 and 9, where equally leader focusing or concerned with the production, and similarly concern for the people at the top level priority. So the values would come out 9 and 9. The diagram, the style, particular style will be known as team leader. So this is the perfect one, which must be created, which must be there in the style of leaders in the organization. Here the word has come up as country club, where values were 1 and 9. 1 means the leader focus very less on the production and more with the people, which is also not acceptable, desirable leadership style in the organization. In between 5 and 5, where leaders are focusing but 50-50, this is also not desirable, because he is using not fully his potential towards the leadership style in the organization. So these all are the theories of leadership style, which must be there in the organization. So most of the MCQs would come out in your examination related to these theories or these models. If you have any doubt related to these theories, you can ask in the comment box, and in the next session I will come up. So next session will come up with the communication chapter, but before this there is one more style of leadership, that is your Likert. So one more and last theory of this leadership we need to understand here. This is a theory which has produced by Dr. Rensis Likert in 1990, 90s something, 1951, like not remember exactly. And this kind of question also cannot ask in your examination, so don't worry about it. So this Likert school has given by this Dr. Rensis Likert. According to this Likert school of leadership, the efficiency of an organization or its department is influenced by their system of management. Definitely the whole achievement of organization depend upon the effectiveness of their using system, and that system definitely could be found among the leadership style particular which is adopted by the organization. So these styles are exploitative, benevolent, consultative and participative. So we need to understand one by one. If we talk about this exploitative, then definitely we can relate this exploitative nature or style of leadership with the authoritative, where leaders can play a role as authoritarian who always dominates employees in the organization. Next we have benevolent authoritative. So this responsibility lies at the managerial levels but not at the lower levels of the organization hierarchy. Next we have benevolent authority. This one is repeated. Next we have participative, where leaders are inviting employees or followers to take participation in the decision making process. So here benevolent, I think repeated here. We should look at the previous one slide. Yes. In third we have consultative system, where leaders always consult with employees while taking decision in the organization. So among all these four, we can say consultative system is very good, participative system is also very good in the organization. So with this leadership style of style, we end this session here. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment box. In next session we will come with the another topic of management, that is communication. So get prepared for the communication session, and please share my videos, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.